All right, Mart, got your Stryker 955 all ready to go for you. It is all built out and complete. We've got a full tune-out done. We've got upgraded finals. We have Hifi Transmit, Hifi Recieve, all mode Hifi, to cover FM and sideband as well, receive and transmit. We have an upgraded echo board that is actually out the face on this one. So you can control the amount of the echo with the small control, and you can control the speed of the echo with the back control here. Speed set somewhere around 8 o'clock, and then the amount somewhere around 12 o'clock. Yeah, that is all set and done. Other than that, we've got Hifi. Well, I think we already said Hifi Transmit. We also have Hifi Recieve with the filter done. We have a 5-band internal equalizer on this radio. We also have some variable functions here. I have a variable peak control. You can't see the label very well with this big knob here, but you can see I put plus on the right and minus on the left. So all the way to the right is wide open, which is clockwise, and counterclockwise all the way to the left is the least amount of peak power there. Just put a little label so you know what is what. On this side here, we have your tone control. So we've got a variable tone control on the radio. All the way to the left is the maximum amount of treble to add with your voice. All the way to the right is that treble rolled off, so it's going to be a lot heavier sound, a lot more bass. On some, on this one in particular, somewhere around the 1 o'clock or so is what sounded great to me, is what lined up well. Now we've got some options out the back. I don't know how hard it is going to be for me to show here because I got everything plugged in. But if you look, I made a label. The first switch that's closest to your heat sink is echo on and off. So you can have a flip switch that you don't have to change the adjustment of your echo out the face. You can just flip it on the fly right there to cut the echo on and off for sideband. That's not required because it still does sound good on sideband with the echo, but some people just want it no echo or nothing. VFO, we got it on and off switch, and then Smeter and Mp3, those are up above a little bit here in the center. So the Mp3 is this option here, and the I said that backwards. The S-meter is this option here, and the Mp3 is here, and you'll see that lines up with the label that I made on the bottom for you. So that's what we got. We got an echo board on a switch, on and off switch out the back, and the echo board is out the face. We got a VFO wind-up mod done to the radio. It has an on and off switch for it. We got an external S-meter hookup on the back of this radio, and also the Mp3 circuit. And then all the options, the Hifi Transmit, Hifi Recieve, upgraded finals, full tune-out, upgraded echo with mods done out the face, 5-band equalizer, variable peak and variable tone, and all mode Hifi. If I'm remembering all the options, I believe that's everything. Also, we have the modded D104 that we got set up for you and picked out here. I've got your Mp3 cord with the ferrite already on here. These tips are just a little bit long, so it offsets just a hair, but it works just fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Just figured I'd mention it to you. Other than that, everything is good. I've got the setting on the back of the mic at a 5, where I do on most all of them here. And we'll go ahead and demonstrate the output, let you see what it's doing. Alright, so I've got the mic gain wide open. I've got the peak wide open here, and the tone is somewhere around that 1 o'clock range, which is fine. Alright, so we'll go ahead and check it out, see what kind of power we're doing with everything all the way up. On Stingy Dosey here, PP, 200 watt scale, reading the top scale. Looks like we're about 123 watts, 125 watts, something like that. I'll get the LP100A, it's 152 watts there. I've got this mic in my way here. Look at the LP700 here, 134 watts. And then somebody's talking about a version 2 on my bench. This is my bench radio. That's a variable peak, variable average. I think I got a headphone jack here somewhere. I can, it's decked out and all the way up to it. I don't use a version 2 on my bench. I used a version 2 to check that one amplifier with because it happened to be a radio I already had ready that was convenient for me to grab and test with. But version 1 is what I'm running on my bench. Anyway, back to the output, 135 watts or so there. I don't have a big enough slug, so 100 watt slug. We'll go ahead and just show the average here. Average output, we're doing about 59 bird average. I could change that out and put a 250 watt slug in. I'm looking through a camera, so apologize if I'm not as coordinated through a camera here. Alright, so 250 watt slug, we'll go ahead and put that on peak here, modulate it, and we're looking at about 135 peak on the bird. So no matter what meter I test with, it's 125 plus, so it's doing great numbers. Check it here. Spectral purity is nice. It's clean just like it should be. Signal's off the scale. Everything's like it should be there. I will go ahead and show the low end range of what this power is capable of going down to. So we'll cut this all the way down, and we'll cut this peak control here all the way down too. So all the way down on the peak, and then all the way down on the carrier. All right, check it right here. It's probably gonna be a little bit below 20 watts, maybe 18, 19 watts, something like that. Yeah, it looks like about 19 watts. 19 watts PEP. Sorry about all the movement. I don't have no gimbal. I'm just sitting here using my hand holding the cell phone. Not the greatest with videos, but I like to post them because people ask for them. Spectral purity is good. The signal is still meeting the tip of the scale even with only 20 watts output. You can tell my 130 watts would be far off the scale when 20 watts makes it to the tip of the scale. It's clean there, just like it should be. And like I said, 19 watts output. Bird average is showing 8 birds, something like that, roughly, with 25 watt slug, you know, somewhere in there, 9 bird, 8.5 bird. All right, spectral purity was still good there too. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll this peak all the way back up here. Roll this power adjustment all the way up here. If you decide you don't like these big knobs, I have smaller ones. These things are rather large. I have some small ones I can do on there for you too. So you just let me know and I'll give you a chance to see it before I ship it out. Back over here, the tone control. All right, so I'm going to, what else do we need to show? I guess we'll go ahead and just show how it sounds over the air. I may try to test the VFO and some other stuff too. We'll see what we got time for. All right, let me plug in this modded D104 here. And let me find my line level cord for my monitor radio. And let me put my headphones on if I can get them on my head with one hand here. Alright, I'm going to plug into my line level cord here.
Alright, it's a little bit hot. Let me get Casey to hold the phone so I can play with the settings a little bit. You can tell the gain's a little hot there, so we'll back it down, you know, kind of smooth it out, somewhere about that 2:30, 3 o'clock position, where most of the radios run. And then I could kind of demonstrate, play with the tone control a little bit and show you the ranges of it. So if we look over here on the tone control, right now I'm somewhere about the 1 o'clock position here, so I can kind of raise it up if I want more bass, you know, more bottom end and less of that treble. So if you wanted like a smooth sound, you can kind of go for more of the smooth sound. But anyway, like I said, bass right there, and then we kind of pull that back and start adding treble in. I like it somewhere around the 1 o'clock or so, but I can kind of pull and make even more highs. To there, that gets kind of like a narrow, like a pinched off, like a high mid nasaliness when it gets up way up in there. But anyway, just showing the ranges of the control. I like it somewhere in here where the bottom end comes in and it still has enough highs to make it nice and full. But anyway, that's a pretty good explanation of the tone control, a representation of the tone control. Like I said, gains at about 3 o'clock here. Hello, 1, 2, breaker, check 1, 2, audio 1, 2, check, just checking it out right here. All right, so now what do we need to do? I'll check the VFO real quick. we can, looks like I could be, I'm just a tiny touch off frequency. Let me touch my fine adjustment here. Sorry about that. I didn't know I had the control bump just a little bit off of 12 o'clock on my monitor. But anyway, here's back to the 12 o'clock position here on my monitor radio. I can cut the gain up. I'm more on the treble side here. For sideband, you'd probably want a little bit more lows up in there, somewhere, something like that on the tone control. Somewhere maybe about the 3 o'clock position here, and I should be right there at the 12 o'clock position on my control on the radio down here on the monitor. Hello, 1, 2. There you go. I still could probably touch it just a touch right there, making sure that it's dead nuts on. There we go, right there. But anyway, just giving a good example of how it sounds on sideband. I went ahead and flipped the echo switch off, and then you can see where I'm running the tone control right here. It's about the 3 o'clock. I can play around with it too. I can kind of cut it up to more bass, and that actually does sound nice and clear and smooth here. And I could cut it up to more treble, and it could get a little bit more harsh, especially if I get way up in here. It's just tinny and too shrieky, so I do like it more towards the low side. On sideband, hello, 1, 2, breaker. And then back over, oh yeah, I still got my echo off, I forgot. It still sounds good with no echo too, but now let me find that echo control and then flip it on right here. But there you go. Looks like we tested about everything on this radio and got a nice little line level recorded gate, so you could hear what this thing sounds like in action, in living color. Hello, 1, 2, breaker.
So unplug that there. The only thing I didn't test, well no, I didn't test the external S meter either, but I don't know if we got any skip or anything. So let me flip my bench radio on up here, go on the air, put the volume up a little bit, go down to 6 and see if we got any skip. Yeah, we got some skip. All right, so now I'm gonna hook up the S meter. I'm gonna cut this volume down for a second. This S meter doesn't have like anything to control how strong the signal is, and they're pretty friendly, so it'll hammer it over pretty good. But this is just an example to show that it works. A variable could be installed like on one of those meters, or you get one that already has it on there, or one that's not as friendly as this. It won't peg it out so easily. Alright, so there's the S meter. Now let me show the line level too. It'd be good while you're listening to the skip, so let me cut this volume down. So now I can show another example of the MP3 circuit as well. I can actually let y'all hear the line level recording. I've done this on other gates and stuff before. I've heard lots of the playbacks. So let's go back to the line level. I've told people this in the past too. You don't have to do anything special for my circuit, this MP3 circuit. A lot of people's like, well, what kind of app do I need to download, or how do I do this, or you got any videos, instructions on how to do this? You don't really have to do anything other than make sure that your volume is up, just like you'd be normally listening to it, and just plug it in. That's it. You plug it in, and right now while I'm running a video, it's going to pick it up line level immediately. If I unplug it, it's no longer line level. I'll plug it in, it's going to sense that external mic, and it's going to go straight to line level. So there's nothing you have to do. Whether you get a phone call from a buddy and you wanted them to talk over your CB, they can talk over there as long as you're plugged in right here. If you wanted to play YouTube videos on the radio, you can do that. If you want to play music underneath your voice, speak over the top, you can do that. You can do anything with this. If you wanted to play a live playback of somebody, you just find a recording app that's simple and easy to use. There's lots of recorders, and you can hit the record button, get one that kind of stays on the screen that's got a play button right next to it, play it, and then you're live and everything's right there. So you might have to download a couple recording apps to find the ones that are user friendly, or like me, just go to your video camera where you're running a video, plug it in, it's going to go line level. All my gates, I do live feeds on Facebook because it doesn't take up any memory on my phone. Everybody gets to see the S meter. It ain't all these recordings that everybody's stuck on where nobody can see an S meter signals or anything. And it's all line level, and like I said, it takes no upload time or nothing. It's all immediately there on Facebook. So anyway, back to this. I'm going to go ahead and plug in the MP3 connection in the back. Remember, that was the center jack, which is right here. I'm going to plug it in. and it is in. And see how it's got just a little gap? That's just that the tip of the piece there is just a hair long on this TRS setup here, but it'll be fine. Let me find my adapter. Sorry about such a long video, but it doesn't hurt to kind of go over all the stuff real well. So let me kind of plug in here with one hand. I can't do it. Alright, it's plugged in there. Now I'm going to plug in here, but first let me cut up the volume, show you how everybody sounds before I plug into the line level, and then I'll plug into the line level.
Hey, wait a second, that can't make it say your problem is you like to swim around that blue water.
So that's picking off the speaker up
That can't make it say your problem is you like to swim around that blue water too much, man. And then you
So now I'm going to plug in.
Good morning, Windjammer. I ain't studying you cat making mobile study. In the mighty blue waters. Oh man, the blue waters. And me and my second chord.
Now unplugged again. And you can hear the difference. Like whenever I unplug, everybody's like way off in the background. You can tell it's picking up room noise and everything like that in here. And then as soon as I plug this in, it's line level.
I heard old Cold Cash before y'all got on the hammer. I heard old Cold Cash out of the Great Lakes Kid. Lord have mercy. Motor dollar working in shit.
And then I unplugged again right there so you can see. But anyway, just a good example of how the line level recording sounds. It's like you climbed inside the receiver and truly got to hear everything without any kind of room noise, without a speaker being 10 foot away. You know, it's a nice clean recording. So that's how the MP3 circuit works, and as well as everything else on this radio. I think I went over everything. I appreciate it again. Hope y'all enjoy. Take care.